and welcome back. If you've followed my channel for some time, you'll see I do a lot of restoring and rebuilding of drums. A big part of this is cleaning up dirty or rusty hardware. In the past, my method for doing this has been a process of soaking hardware in either WD-40 or a mixture of water and dish soap. I've found it to work fairly well, especially if you're willing to go in after soaking and use some sort of abrasive tool to help get rid of rust and buildup. In the past few months, I've seen others who have used a tool to help streamline this process, and after a friend of mine reached out to share his experience, I decided to pull the trigger on an ultrasonic cleaner. This process of cleaning uses ultrasound to agitate a fluid and results in a cleaning effect. It uses sound energy to create a vibration, which helps separate and release the buildup on what you choose to clean. After searching on Amazon for a bit, I decided I could take the plunge and purchase this small desktop unit for right around $50 to see if it would work and help save me time. After 2 days, my package arrived, and I took this downstairs to unbox and try for the first time. In the box, there's not much other than the cleaning unit, a power cable, a basket for parts, and a lid. After reading the manual for a bit and watching a few YouTube videos about using this type of cleaner, I decided to reach out to my friend, as this was the exact same unit he had purchased and enjoyed, to get some advice for a solution mixture to clean with, the temperature, and the duration to run the machine. After getting a feel for the cleaner, I picked out this 1970s Gretsch aluminum snare to strip down and clean. And if this snare excites you at all, keep an eye out for another separate video all about this drum soon. After I had this drum stripped, I filled the reservoir with water and some dish soap. I then chose to start with these 3 lugs that were mismatched replacements on this drum. There was some pitting on the chrome, but really just everyday grime on the lugs and mounting screws. I set the cleaner to 60 degrees Celsius and set a runtime of 20 minutes and then waited for it to heat up. I realized at this point exactly how slow this machine is when it comes to preparation. It took about 20 to 30 minutes just to get near the desired temperature. Once it was finally ready, I added the lugs to the basket and submerged it into the reservoir and let it run. At this point in the process, I also realized how loud this machine is while it runs. I'll save you from listening to it for too long, but I wouldn't suggest having this run in a room while you're working in at the same time. After the timer was up, I removed the lugs and was impressed to see some nice results. Although not brought back to life entirely, the machine did a fair job at removing some of the surface buildup and a bit of rust. So with a little more understanding of the machine, I moved on to doing the rest of the hardware from this snare, including the tension rods, the throw-off, butt plate, and a few other pieces from the internal muffler. Again, I saw similar results. All the parts were certainly cleaner, but this isn't some magic solution that's going to bring back rusty old hardware to some brand new state. I found that after I removed the hardware from the cleaner, if I went over it with some aluminum foil or another abrasive, it seemed to help clean it up more, with the rust and grime a bit looser. But to me, it feels like this isn't the one-step process I was originally hoping for with cleaning hardware. Overall, I think a tool like this is probably useful for some, especially if you're frequently stripping drums and cleaning hardware. But for most, I'd have a hard time recommending this because I think you could have similar results with a more manual approach of soaking hardware and cleaning it by hand. I think for someone like me, or for a drum shop, this is obviously a handy tool to help automate the process a bit, but in reality, it still requires a bit of elbow grease to really bring these pieces back to life. I've used this a handful of times since, and obviously you could mess with a variety of heat settings, cleaning solutions, and durations, but I haven't seen too much change in the results on my end. If anybody out there uses a tool like this, I'd love to hear your experience with it, so leave a comment down below. If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, I'd appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel to stay up to date on future video releases. Until next time, thanks.